I absolutely despise Seth Rogen. And I shouldn't hate Seth Rogen. I've never met the man. I think the reason I began hating Seth Rogen so bad was his Twitter. 100% his Twitter. Before Twitter, I would have had no idea what an absolute piece of human garbage Seth Rogen is. But due to him being an egotistical man-child, he forced this information upon me. So I decided to put a couple of things together here and show you why I, and I believe a lot of other people, hate Seth Rogen. Today we'll be going over a few of Seth Rogen's Twitter greatest hits. Starting way back in 2019 with this tweet by J.K. Rowling. Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you. Live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real. Hashtag I stand with Maya. Okay, well, this is a controversial statement to some. Seems pretty common sense to me, but I certainly can see some of the more dumb but vocal elements of the transgender community getting all upset about this. So of course, Seth Rogen, who's not part of that community, has to weigh in. How about I push you off a cliff and you Wingardium D's nuts before you hit the ground, fucking transphobe. Yeah, nothing unhinged at all about a man pushing 50 sending death threats to a children's author over her opinion on the definition of a woman. A bunch of issues that have literally nothing to do with Seth Rogen, but he has to weigh in, because in Hollywood, this is what counts as fighting for rights and justice, ensuring the rest of the world hates you and every opinion you have by proxy. This has actually gotten worse over the years too. Whether you're MAGA, BLM, literally every Hollywood race or gender movie swap, all it does is make people hate you and the message that you are sending. Seth Rogen also has a habit of masking his terroristic threats by throwing a little joke in at the end. Wingardium Leviosa D's nuts. You'll see it again and again. On November the 3rd, 2020, Seth Rogen decided in his morally superior manic episode sparked by smoking way too much weed and then thinking he's smarter than he really is, that it would be a good idea to bully some random high school kid. I'm not old enough to vote, but for all of those that are, please go out and vote. Every vote is important. May the best candidate win. Hashtag 2020. Nothing wrong here, just a kid stating, I am underage, I am a teenager, encouraging people to vote, and showing good sportsmanship. May the best candidate win. Because it was Clinton Trump, he had to be gender neutral about it. So Seth Rogen decides to let the mask slip and respond. Dude, holy smokes, you're such a fucking loser. Grow the fuck up. Don't fucking enable fascists with this kind of weak shit, kid. I'm watching you. Try to imagine being like 15 years old and making some white bread post about voting, and a freaking celebrity tells you in front of millions of people who follow him that you are a, and I'm quoting him, fucking loser who enables fascists. And if that isn't bad enough, he seems to be implying that a Democrat win was hedged on people not voting at all. Don't tell people to vote, that's how the fascists win! And then he ominously tells this kid, I'm watching you, like some kind of pseudo-parental figure who will return to humiliate him in front of the world a second time if he ever posts, well, anything. What he just said has nothing to do with fascism. How could he foresee what will anger Lord Rogen next? But as you will see, Seth Rogen doesn't need something to be fascist to call it fascism or white supremacy. It just needs to be something mildly inconvenient to him. This whole argument about the Holocaust is really dumb. People are just making up numbers now. 6 million Jews were tragically murdered by Nazis. I'm sorry for posting politically, but it seems there are people with agendas these days. What Gina Carano is talking about here is there are two groups of outspoken dumbasses on the internet. One group who's like, the Holocaust never happened at all, and another group screaming, 10 billion people were killed, and both are wrong and need to shut up. She's not Holocaust denying. She's backing up Jewish people. 6 million, this is, to my knowledge, the approved number to not be canceled. But Seth Rogen, of course, has to have a problem with it. Shut your mouth, you fascist fuck! 7 million Jews died during the Holocaust. What's your fucking problem? At this point, I want to state, yes. The same joke is going through my mind as it's going through yours right now, but I think we're all better than that. Yes, that one, where he just adds more amounts onto it casually. Yeah, yes, I get it. We're not gonna do it. Why is he picking a fight with Gina Carano? Oh, because she's not leftist enough for Rogen. So she's a target for his bullying. He's gonna find something to say to her eventually. Justified by his feeling of moral superiority, only granted to him through a lack of criticism about his career or life off of social media. Seth, I love your movies. And I really don't want to get into an argument about this, but it was 6 million. I don't know why you're exaggerating. Please stop. I'm not trying to make a political point. I just don't understand why you say these things. Seems reasonable. She's trying to be really nice. But Seth Rogen is an unhinged egomaniac who will cry rivers when something he believes in is attacked, but sees no problem aggressing all over other people. You're a piece of shit! It was 7 million, and I'm not gonna fucking drop this. I will fucking end your career. Again, Seth Rogen threatening people. If he can't threaten to throw you off a cliff, he'll just threaten to spread rumors that you hate Jewish people in a town where 70% of the hiring power is Jewish. Basically, social terrorism. For the crime of saying the same thing the Holocaust Museum says. Now this next one is my absolute favorite. So our cars got robbed this morning because Los Angeles is a crime-riddled third world shithole of a city, but tremendous appreciation and gratitude to the hardworking officers at the LAPD West, who not only arrested the motherfucker, but they got all of our stolen goods back. Okay, so this guy is angry he got his car broken into, again, in Los Angeles, which has a huge problem with crime and theft, especially escalating since this tweet, so keep that in mind when listening to Seth's responses. A city which houses Skid Row has tents on a ridiculous amount of streets and has homeless people immigrating to it by the thousand to set up shop. It's getting to be a third world shithole very fast. Not a nice tweet, but not unreasonable under the circumstances. But here comes Seth again. Dude, I've lived here for over 20 years. You're nuts. Ha 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 ha. It's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in it. It's called living in a big city. This might be one of the most arrogant, tone-deaf shit responses in the history of Twitter, and that is saying a lot. First, notice how differently he talks to a man from Los Angeles as opposed to some kid or some woman like the other posts. This is because Seth is deep down a pussy, and all of his friends know it. He's real tough until there's even the slightest possibility you might meet him face to face. Aside from that, no, Seth, it's not part of living in a big city. Houston is a big city. So is Dallas, Miami, San Diego, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and a number of other cities in America that do not share the level of crime problem that Los Angeles has. Also, people don't just have the money to replace windows like c'est la vie, another window, just part of living in the city like getting pigeon crap off your windshield. Some of us work actual jobs, Seth. We don't get to just go drop off our car, Uber back home, and pick it up later on a Tuesday. I can still be mad though, right? Feel so violated. You can be mad, I guess, but I don't personally view my car as an extension of myself, and I've never really felt violated any of the 15 times or so my car's been broken into. Once a guy accidentally left a cool knife in my car. So if it keeps happening to you, you might get a little treat. Seth Rogen deserves to be mocked forever for writing this down. And this is my addition to that forever mockery. Imagine someone telling you that you have no right to get angry about a crime that was committed unto you, because the car is not an extension of yourself. Hey, anyone out there, Seth Rogen is giving away free stuff. Let's all go ransack his house. It's not an extension of you, is it, Seth? What if I take your wallet out of your back pocket? Your pants aren't an extension of you. Most people don't like to be the victim of crime, cuckboy. And yeah, what you're saying right now makes Los Angeles sound like a third world shithole. Seth Rogen believes that because he won the lottery and lucked into a career in film, he gets to browbeat you for not making enough to replace 15 car windows from urban crime with a smile. In fact, you're a fascist for even mentioning it. How dare you even get mildly upset about your car getting busted into? So then the next day, Tulsi Gabbard responds to Seth Rogen's tone-deaf tweet about vandalism. It seems that wealthy comedian Seth Rogen thinks that it's totally okay for people's cars to be regularly broken into and vandalized. Could these Hollywood types be any more detached from the realities of millions of ordinary Americans? A good question, considering celebrities like Seth Rogen, due to social media, now feel it's their duty to use their platforms and audience to weaponize their political and social viewpoints. Most people live in fear of crime. We can't afford to get windows and interiors replaced and repaired once a month, Seth. This was just blatant, tone-deaf, bad take, desperate defense of crime. Hey, shithead, I'll fucking fight you. I'm literally driving to where you live right now. Time's fucking up, loser. You were a good politician once, but you've completely sold out to the right. This is the last fucking straw after you made fun of me for the way I smell. Okay, so Seth Rogen smells terrible, confirmed. But here you see another in his string of unhinged threats to people. And again, he thinks by throwing in some joke at the end, Lengadium Leviosa's nuts, or talking about how he smells, that it's not making a threat to a political figure in public. This is how Seth Rogen rubs his celebrity privilege in your face, knowing that he's not going to get arrested for this when you absolutely would. A great way to follow up talking about how if you can't replace your window once a month, you're just a pleb. Once again, this is moral superiority wrapped in the mind of an eternal, stunted man-child. That's an awful way to speak to somebody, Seth. And I live in Hawaii, so I don't know how you're going to drive here from California. I also never made fun of you for the way you smell. That wasn't me. Ha ha ha, you're a fucking comedian now too. Real funny. I'm fucking laughing. Ha ha ha, ho ho ho, he he he. But don't quit your day job though, because I'm the actual comedian here. Check your DMs, bitch. Let's settle it there. I'm going to block you now, Seth. First off, no, Seth. She won that little exchange. An amazing amount of insecure compensation, all that fake laughter, another threat to see him in the DMs where I'm sure he wrote some insult-laden string of profanities only a 13-year-old would think up or be insulted by. This is Seth Rogen. In 2021, Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman were involved in a project starring Rogen called Santa Inc. More than anything else, this absolute flop of a holiday special on HBO Max became controversial for its unapologetic hypocrisy and use of manufactured outrage marketing. This show was produced by and stars a majority of Jewish people and was blatantly mocking and making fun of Christmas. Something that if it was done the other way around would be slammed as anti-Semitism at very best. And I'm a firm believer in if you can't take it, you shouldn't dish it out, and I think so are most people. The trailer got ratioed horrifically on YouTube, telling Rogen in the studio that maybe this little project of theirs was in poor taste. After all, for the majority of people in this country, Christmas is the last sacred, wholesome thing left for us. For most people, the memories of Christmas are among the fondest of our childhood. Seth Rogen's reply to this? We really pissed off tens of thousands of white supremacists with our new show Santa Inc., which is now available on HBO Max. Please read the responses to this tweet for confirmation. Yeah, just so you know, the responses were filled with people telling him that not liking his crappy claymation passion project doesn't make them Nazis. The majority of people who saw this, of any religion, did not like it. And Rogen is saying that you are a goose-stepping Nazi for that. If you make fun of him for his religion or traditions or holidays, you're a white supremacist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi. And also, if you don't let him make fun of you for your religion and holidays, you're also a white supremacist, a fascist, and a Nazi. So basically, unless Seth Rogen gets to walk all over you and mock you in ways that you're not allowed to mock him back, you're a Nazi. He wears being Jewish as a suit of armor to criticism. And to be fair, being on the internet, do I think he's been exposed to some anti-Jewish sentiment, either just to troll him or unironically? Yeah. But Seth, the fact of the matter is, Santa Inc. sucked. If it was funny and making fun of Christians, it would be hilarious. Mel Brooks did it. But Mel Brooks also knew to make fun of others, you have to be willing to take it yourself. And he got ahead of that with bits like Jews in Space or Rabbi Tuckman. Seth Rogen, on the other hand, believes that he is the almighty stoner god of morality and comedy. He can make fun of your shit, but if you do the same, you are literally to be hunted down and your life ruined. And now in 2023, from the mind of eternal teenager Seth Rogen, which is how he has to brand himself now because it's the only excuse for his terrible behavior, the most unawaited and unanticipated film of the year, Black Fat April Ninja Turtles. But don't worry, Seth. I'm sure it'll carry the same weight as Kevin Smith's Master of the Wokaverse or Santa Inc. Those huge classic hits, right? I'm sure that perverting the source material and putting your own maniacal spin on something only conceived with the goal in mind of pissing people off will totally work out for you. And that's really what it is. Seth Rogen is a prankster. He wants to piss you off. But the problem is, he mixes this with social issues and politics unironically, which turns people off completely. When you become the liberal loudmouth that everyone hates, the out-of-touch rich guy, you become a symbol for that thing. They begin to hate the thing by extension of you, and you by extension of the thing. For instance, would I enjoy anything Seth Rogen does at this point? I'd like to say yes, I can separate the art from the artist, but I don't think so. He's a temperamental man-child piece of garbage who plays bully with people in ways where he doesn't want them to hit back the same way. He truly believes he's better than you. He believes you don't have everything he does, not because he got lucky and should appreciate it, but because you simply didn't come to Hollywood and ask for it. That's how simple it was for Seth juiced in day one Rogen, and that is why most people hate him now. Not because he's obnoxiously Jewish, and by that I mean he uses it as a shield against all criticism regardless of any context. Not because he's a one-joke hack who just gets cast as dude weed Seth Rogen because he has absolutely no acting chops. Because he's a new money, arrogant, egotistical jerk masquerading as a liberal fighter for justice while bullying women and children online. Go to hell, Seth Rogen. When people wake up and just flat out silently boycott anything you had any part in, you might learn the error of your ways.